All right. The National Association of Home Builders tells you it is not a fan of your Republican tax plan. You've got problems. Exclusive reaction from the CEO of that august group, Jerry Howard, who joins us right now. Jerry, everyone was focusing on your simple statement in the end. It is a bad bill for the housing sector. You walked away from it. Why?
Well, we looked at what the bill did to the mortgage interest deduction, Neil, and it doesn't touch the mortgage interest deduction. The Republicans were very, very clear about that. But other changes to the code effectively watered down and dilute the mortgage interest deduction to the point where only the super wealthy will take it. We don't think that a housing subsidy for the super wealthy is a good expenditure of the taxpayers' dollars. We went to Chairman Brady. We talked with the Speaker's people. We proposed a credit. Instead of a deduction, a credit, the benefits of which would be largely enjoyed by the middle class. It would spur investment in housing, good economic policy, good social policy, and it costs less than the diluted mortgage interest deduction. We thought it was a great idea. I know Chairman Brady liked the idea. I think the Speaker likes the idea, but somebody in the Republican leadership said no. We have to walk away.
I thought it was Speaker Ryan who ultimately said no, but you're referring to Kevin Brady, who wanted to keep you as a supporter, and now that you're not, I guess the question will be, can they win you back? What would it take to win you back? Because I think you're referring to the fact that this plan would double the standard deduction, so a lot of people wouldn't have to separately write off mortgage interest, taxes, and the like. So the argument is the housing industry would still benefit, but you're saying by that math, not really, right?
Not really, and what's left of the deduction is only for the super rich. What really spurs the housing sector is first-time home buyers. And although many of them will benefit from the standard deduction, taking the standard deduction plus this credit would really have a lot of bang for the buck.
So do you know how the president feels about this, Jerry?
I'm told that the White House is supportive of the credit idea. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, the credit idea would be a set dollar amount, or would adjust for different income groups?
It's a set dollar amount with a cap on it.
All right. In addition to doubling the standard deduction for a lot of families, this would be on top of that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So their concern among the deficit hawks is, how the heck are we going to pay for that, you say?
I say that we're taking what's left of the mortgage interest deduction, using the tax expenditure that is in that part of the code geared only to the wealthy, and taking it back and putting it for the middle class.
Do you think that housing needs this type of help, that housing and appetite is so strong in this country now, maybe with low rates, that you don't need the kind of tax incentives that you've enjoyed in the past, especially at a time now with a higher standard deduction? You'll almost get it anyway. That's what the proponents of this say.
Well, got to remember, we're still at only 66% of our capacity coming out of the recession. And those of our members who are long in the tooth remember what happened after the '86 Tax Act, another housing recession. We want to be sure and protect against a repeat of the recessions. We also want to promote home ownership for the middle class, and we also want to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. Why give the money in terms of a deduction to the rich and not a credit to the middle class?
What would it take to win you back? If they all of a sudden put this credit back in, if they adjusted the double standard deduction to go back to maybe compensating for mortgage interest on the rest, what?
We're willing to talk about anything. What we looked at, Neil, when we came out in favor of the tax plan was looking at first individual tax rates and burdens on Americans. We love what they're doing. The business tax rates, we like what they're doing there, but there also has to be a solid, firm commitment to housing, and we got to see that if we're coming back.
Are you going to target Republicans who vote for this?
We are going to target everybody and urge them to vote against it.
But if Republicans vote for this, are you going to target them for defeat in the midterm election?
That's a possibility. Everything's on the table.
And that would include endorsing their Democratic challengers in that event?
It's too early to talk about that right now, Neil. Right now, we're still really focusing on trying to get the tax bill right so we can be supportive.
Have some of those congressmen and women gotten back to you and said, all right, well, wait a minute, if this is important to you, I'll make sure that we adjust this to your life? Yeah,
we're talking to a lot of people. I was talking to congressmen when I was standing on the sidelines coaching my son's football game on Saturday.
And how did the conversations go and your son's game?
The conversations went very well. My son's team lost, unfortunately, though he played well.
All right, well, that's encouraging. All right, we'll watch what happens. But Jerry Howard, National Association of Home Builders CEO, thank you very, very much. That is